Hello everyone, welcome to a video about the FORBACH style of gypsy jazz and especially about the amazing cross-rhythm-like chord solos they play in their solos. Let's go! So I made 3 earlier episodes about this FORBACH style and I was highlighting specific players, namely Brady Winterstein, Punch Weiss and Favine Laurier, and I will link the videos about those great players in the description. But in this video I want to talk about universal principles of chord soloing. And I don't think anybody has ever done it before, but what I did is I codified the most used rhythms. So of course there's many possibilities of rhythms you could use in those chord solos because it is all about the rhythms in this style of chord soloing. Of course, there's also really nice voicings, but the first thing you should focus on is the rhythms. So, like I said, there's many different possibilities. But after transcribing a lot of those chord solos and puzzling around with the different rhythms, I figured out 5 cornerstone formulas you have to practice. And then once you get them in your fingers, in your system, and in your ears, you can start combining them and coming up with your own variations. In this video, I'm just going to show you those 5 formulas, one after another. I'll introduce each one shortly because I put them in an order that I think is most useful to learn, from the easiest one to the most complicated one. And I gave a name to each rhythm just for fun, but also because it helps keeping them apart in your head. And I want to introduce each one and the name I came up for it. So the first one is called the Big Easy because it sounds big and it's pretty easy, and it is a pattern consisting of a triplet and 2 eighth notes starting on the second beat of, in this case, a 2-5-1. So I chose the 2-5-1 for all formulas, the 2-5-1 in B flat, just because I had to choose something, and it's easy to wrap your mind around. Now I didn't take basic voicings. I didn't do like C minor 7, F7, B flat 6. Instead I took C minor 7, 11 for the C minor, and I took B7 flat 9 as a substitution for F7. And then for the B flat 6, I divided in 2 chords. First a B flat diminished, and then a B flat major 7. But you can use any chords. But best thing is to use some special sounding chords because that gives the rhythms even more impact. So here is the Big Easy. The second important rhythm I identified and codified is called the snoop. And that is because it reminds me a little bit of a Snoop Dogg tune called Beautiful. It's a Pharrell tune. And it has this recurring rhythm in the guitar. It's not the same as this rhythm, but it's a very syncopated rhythm and it kind of makes the whole tune. So look it up on YouTube, Beautiful by Snoop and Pharrell. So this rhythm is called the snoop because it has the same kind of syncopated rhythm repeating on every chord. Not too hard to play. So here is the snoop. I tapped out all rhythms in a PDF, a downloadable PDF, and you can get that if you take a look at my Patreon. If you join there at the €5 level, you can already download the PDF with all rhythms, carefully notated with picking directions. And I'll also make another video later this week explaining all rhythms one by one, giving my thoughts about how to practice them, how to use them, maybe how to combine them with other rhythms, and how to, in general, develop this skill of chord soloing. And I will do that in an exclusive video for my €10 patrons. So if you want to have access to that video, check out my Patreon. There's a link in the description. So let's move on to the third rhythm, and it's called the reggae. And the reason why it's called the reggae is because every chord lands on beat 2 and 4. Right? In the reggae, the guitar player usually plays offbeat chords like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a typical reggae guitar pattern. And in this rhythm, you get the same thing. On the 2 and 4, a big chord. Of course, it sounds very different because there is ghost strokes and a bass note in front of it, and all the chords are long. But still, it reminded me a little bit of a reggae guitar pattern. That's why it's called the reggae. So this third one was already pretty challenging, but now we have 2 left and they are even more challenging. This next one is called the roomba, because it is actually a roomba rhythm, but it sounds way more powerful than a roomba rhythm because of the very clear ghost strokes and just the powerful way of playing it. And there's also a specific way of how you hit the strings and how many strings to hit every time, and I will talk about that in that exclusive video I'm gonna make later. But for now, here is the roomba. The final rhythm is the hardest to play. It may look simple because it's all 8th notes if you look at the tab, but in fact it's very, very challenging to play. And the reason is because of the shifting rhythmic pattern. And that's why I gave it the name the Steve Reich. And if you don't know who that is a composer who got famous for many things, but one of the things was that he started introducing the phasing technique. And there's several ways of accomplishing this, but one way is to have different people play the same pattern but with a click on their ears, but the click is slightly different. So maybe one person has a 100 beat per minute click and another one has a 100.5 beat per minute click. So the first 2 minutes might sound in sync, but then it gets further and further apart and you get really weird sounding, complex sounding rhythms that you couldn't get any other way. And this rhythm almost sounds like you're phasing with the rhythm section. Even though you're not, you're just playing a cross rhythm. But because of the weird way the bass note is placed with the ghost strokes and also the picking pattern, the way the downstrokes and upstrokes are being employed, it sounds almost like phasing. And it is awesome if you can do it. It's very difficult. I found it very challenging. I'm slowly getting better at it, but it needs some work. And I will talk about that also, of course, in that exclusive video. So here is the Steve Reich. That was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I think it's really worthwhile practicing this. Now, it's very challenging to get it together, and it's also very challenging to make it work in a solo, because you cannot just play these rhythms one after another, or you could, but if you listen to the FORBACH players, they have a way of varying them, of combining them in very interesting ways. And of course, they didn't develop these skills by practicing like this, by codifying 5 basic patterns. They developed it by jamming and by listening to each other and figuring out stuff on their own. And then after a while, you get this really exciting, virtuosic and almost supernatural sounding chord soloing. But I think that if you don't have the possibility of going to FORBACH and living your life there and growing up with other players, that this might be the way in. Learning these 5 basic patterns and working with them and trying to put your own spin on them. I'm going to end this video with a short commercial for my book, The Van Hemert System, which is a book I wrote 2 years ago, and it is all about how to get into jazz guitar improv. Hopefully I will see you in the next video right here on YouTube or maybe on my Patreon. Bye! Hello everyone, you just listened to a jazz guitar solo on the chords of the tune Argentine. If you are a guitar player and you always wanted to play jazz but had no idea where to start, I have a solution for you. I just released a book called The Van Hemert System, which describes the system I used myself to learn how to improvise, like you just heard. The methodology is completely based on learning a couple of shapes across the guitar neck that will enable you to improvise on every jazz standard you can think of. Of course, it's gonna take a while to become proficient at playing those shapes and how to apply them, but you don't have to learn anything else. No music theory, no scales, no arpeggios, no fretboard identification, no ear training, just learning those shapes and how to apply them. That's what I did myself, and you just saw the result. If you are interested in learning to play jazz guitar like that, and you are in the US, order my book in the web store of jungleguitars.com. And if you are in Europe, send a mail to this email address. Bye!